just really emphasize that this information that you're going to hear this evening is absolutely incredible. It's life-changing. There's nothing else like that out there. And so to be the first to the party, so to speak, we're really blessed in that fact. A little bit about myself. I'm actually not going to be the first one to lead off tonight. I'm going to pass the torch to Dr. Brett Brimhall, who's absolutely phenomenal. So I learned this through him being able to help Heather in a health crisis that they had in their family and how it impacted them. And because of that, what he was able to do to help Heather's son, she found it almost like an obligation, or found it her passion to be able to share with others. And so you're going to hear her story a little bit later. My background, I'm whole lot of science, and that's really what intrigued me, but I also saw the opportunity part in that if this information is true, so just think about this, just go with an open mind, and just tell yourself that if this information is true, who can it impact, who can it help? And that's really where my mindset was. And so I'm grateful to Heather and Dr. Brimhall who introduced this to me. So some things about Dr. Brimhall. He has practiced in Gilbert, I think, for about 18 years. And he's recently transitioning out of that, which is a part of his story that he's going to tell. But he has formulated supplements with his dad, who's also a physician. Very incredible in terms of what they know about the body and the mind and how they can put those pieces together and help people. But also they have formulated supplements, over 200 supplements, and they have lectured internationally to other doctors, peers, health physicians throughout the world. So you're talking about United States, Canada, and Europe. He is also a member, I believe one of 9 of the medical advisory board for this company. And so that is the position that was honored to him. It is not a paid position, but they are able to use his expertise and his clout within the field and his knowledge to be able to help bring out these products and be able to use his expertise to help teach and learn. And so I will turn it over to him, and I'm grateful that he has taken time out of his busy day to be with us this evening. Oh, you got to unmute.
Got it. Okay, super cool, guys. Thanks for having me on, Rachelle. And actually, it's fun to see everybody, right? And I know we saw each other last weekend, some of you guys, but it's fun to kind of have this technology where you can see each other. Are you going to share the slides, Rachelle? You going to share your screen, or you want me to share mine? You got it? Perfect. Okay. So, guys, I want to just kind of do a brief intro and just kind of tell you about what we're going to talk about tonight. It's kind of funny. I was just talking with Heather on the phone a minute ago, and we were talking about, this journey that I've been on over the last 4 years, and she's been on that journey for the last 2.5. And we're talking about the amount of people that have been exposed to what we're going to share with everybody tonight in the last 2.5 years. Is like 630 people almost, right, Heather, that we were looking at that have had exposure to this. And before I go any further, I'm going to introduce you to somebody, Sabrina. I'm going to have Sabrina share her story. So Sabrina, get ready. You got 10 seconds to do this. Because something in the last 25 years that I spent traveling and teaching and training physicians all over Canada, Europe, and the United States, I really enjoyed the part of where I was helping somebody, where there's somebody that lost hope, didn't have hope, that we were able to work with, and then they get hope again physically. And something I took for granted, because people would come up to me all the time and said, hey, you help my son or help my mom, and just that feeling I had. And I love that experience. I think we all do when we help somebody. What I didn't really realize is I went out and I started sharing what got me introduced to this product and the story and the people's lives that it touched, that I'd get to be part of watching other people have that same experience as they shared their story with other people. So I want to just kind of have Sabrina share her story here a second, because I met her in a little town 2.5 hours east of here, and I met Heather because she came to my office, which lives 3.5 hours north of here, right? But I never would have seen Sabrina or her son if it wasn't for Heather's son having a struggle for several years and then coming in to see us, and we were able to help him. And then she was able to share this information with Sabrina, which allowed her to help her son. So Sabrina, I know we've met and we've chatted multiple times and, been quite a party, but I'd love for him to share your story about your son. She's a crazy hard worker. Like I'm talking to her on the phone a couple of nights ago, or 2 nights ago, and it's whatever it was, 10 o'clock at night almost, maybe it wasn't that late, 9:30, 10, and she's out in the cotton field stripping cotton. She's told me something about stripping. I'm like, what are you talking about? She's stripping cotton. So she's out there in the field at nighttime stripping these cotton fields with her son. So teaching her sons how to work hard. But we kind of I'd love to just share your story, Sabrina, on what Jaron went through, what you saw, and what you continue to see this day with him. Please.
Okay. Am I unmuted?
You are good.
All right, good to go. Okay, so back in 2014, the only way to tell the story is just to tell it. So back in 2014, my son had passed out with severe chronic pain, and we didn't know what it was. He was complaining about his abdominal area and lower back. I thought it was appendicitis, so we went to the nearest hospital, which was about 25 miles from here. And on the way over, it was more complicated than I thought, and we had to call the ambulance and to meet us halfway through. We got there, and they told us it was way more than they can handle. They thought it was a appendicitis or a abdominal infection, and it needed to have surgery on. So they flew us to Phoenix Children's Hospital, and that's where our nightmare began. They did exploratory surgery, found nothing, ran all kinds of tests that they could think of, nothing. And his pain level was anywhere between a 7.5 and an 8.5 at the time at the hospital. At the end of the week, they didn't know what to do with him, except they knew it had something to do with the nervous system, and so they sent us home with gabapentin, which is an MS medication. And they told us it would take a month for him to find any kind of relief whatsoever. And during that whole time, they had him on all kinds of pain medication, and it wasn't just helping. And so I'm going to tell the short story version of it. Over the past 3 years, we saw over 15 different specialists, neurologists to surgeons to different types of chiropractors to pain clinics. And well, the last set of doctors was the Arizona Pain Clinic out of Tucson, and they stuck 25 needles in his back, in his spine, and 15 in his hip for 6 weeks. I don't even know what they injected in him, to be honest with you. I just know that it was supposed to bring down his inflammation. And after 6 weeks, they told us that just to go home and try again. And by that time, Jaron had enough. He's like, we don't even know what he had. He's like, I don't even know what I have. I'm done with doctors. I just want to go home and die. And at that point, I mean, there was a lot of emotions up and down throughout this whole ordeal. It was pretty dramatic. During the whole 3 years, no pain medicine was helping him whatsoever. And they put him on all different kinds of stuff, and he couldn't tolerate it. So his body started shutting down, and he was sleeping anywhere between 18 to 20 hours a day. So that's how he dealt with the pain. After making that promise to him, no more doctors, 2 weeks after that, Heather's parents are my neighbors, and they came to us and they told us about Heather and what her son was going through and the help that she was getting. And so she had got me in contact with Heather, and Heather tried to get me to go take Jaron to see Dr. Brimhall, and I made that promise to Jaron. I just couldn't do it. And so Heather and I talked to each other for about a year over the phone. She listened to me vent and cry and complain, and she was giving me hints here and there. And well, it came to the night, the last time I talked to Heather on the phone before I saw Brimhall. Jaron came to us and said that his pain was at 9.5. And when he says that, we knew he was done, because 10 meant suicide. That's what the hospital taught him. And we just didn't know what we were going to wake up to. And so I called Heather, and I was crying and venting, and I think she had enough of that. And so tried to get me in contact with Dr. Brimhall, and Brimhall came down to this little town called Pima, and I missed him the first time. I don't know if it was on purpose, or I don't know.
That was on purpose.
or if it was, you know, what it was. But he came down the second time, and I actually went, but I went late on purpose. I didn't know what this whole thing was really about, but I got to talk to Brimhall, and we talked for a little bit, and he told me if I went home and told Jaron everything that we talked about, that he would want to come and see him. And so we were in his office just a few days after that, and he was able to bring his pain level down by a couple of notches, but we couldn't get it further than that. So he suggested to put him on the Protandim, Nerf 1, Nerf 2, and a probiotic twice a day. And within 3 weeks, he had no pain. None. 3 years of suffering. And 3 weeks of these products that were life-changing for us gave Jaron his life back. He's able to go out and horseback riding, work on the farm. As Dr. Brimhall said, right now is harvest time for our cotton, and so we don't call it picking, we call it stripping. And so that's where we're at. He's pain-free off and on, and he's still a stubborn 18-year-old right now and trying to figure out life. But other than that, that's our story. So is that good?
That's amazing. And I appreciate you sharing that, because how real it is. Like, we go to so many people and they think, oh, we got this cure, this fix. And like, I remember meeting you that night, you know, just knowing that there's things that he hadn't tried yet. Because I never would have met Sabrina had Heather not mentioned it to her for over a year, right? And kept that relationship alive. And so what we're going to share with you some of these stories, but we're going to share with you a new science, because what I did with Jaron was just based upon an experience that I've had in my practice. And I love that you call me Brimhall. That's kind of funny. I think your son got you fixed on that. Her son called me Brimhall when he walked in my office, so that's kind of stuck on. But guys, we're going to talk about a brand new science called Nutrigenomics, an understanding of what we have. We can actually activate the body's ability to heal and repair that we didn't know before. So when Jaron's body wanted to heal, it just wasn't healing. It wasn't from a lack of medication or lack of other things that he's trying to do or physical therapy. It's just the system was not healing like it should. And so when she started putting these products in it activated his body's ability to heal and repair. So within a short period of time, his pain level was significantly reduced to where he is to this day cowboying. And when he hurts himself now, it's because he's been a cowboy and he got bucked off a horse or something crazy like that. But that's normal. That's what you would expect. So why don't you hit those slides there, Rachelle, and we'll go through this. So we're going to give you an overview of this company, the product, and the opportunity associated with. But we're going to go through it fairly quick, because I want you to see that it's brand new technology. And just like with these little iPhones and stuff like that we have, I'm not going to try to explain how all that would work. I just want to I'm going to teach you how to make it work in your body. So the concept is called biohacking. This is why this is so important. Jaron's body wanted to get better, but it wasn't. So it was being hijacked. We have been hijacked mentally and physically in a lot of ways by things we don't even know exist around us. Okay. So my mom, for instance, she passed away in the early 60s. Her mom and dad both lived well into their 90s. She is one of 10 kids. None of the kids have lived past 85. So how does that happen in a day and age we live that the kids don't live longer than their parents did? She had the genetics, environmental exposure changed her genetics. So we're going to teach you how to unhijack your body with biohacking. All right, Rachelle.
Oh, you have control.
I have control? Oh, I love when I have control. You do? It's not going forward.
Okay, I'll go to the next one.
You have to kind of click on the slide and then you can use your arrows.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll try it. All right, so here's the term biohacking. So it's basically allowing yourself to tap into your body to be able to heal. The science is called Nutrigenomics. So what that basically means is your body's ability to heal is determined by how your genes express themselves. We always say that as kids, you can do anything you want to do, right? But then life happens and they begin to believe that they cannot. Our genes are programmed for health, but there are things that change that. This science is a $600 billion industry. It's how in which everything we'll do in the future will happen how we look and what science we can do with the body. This has opened up a whole new avenue of things for me as a clinician, because the way in which I thought I could help people has drastically changed because of this science. I no longer have to guess. I know what I can do. So we're going to watch this short video that was beginning this science. And keep in mind that this video was aired in 2005. Now that's important because there are a lot of things that have happened since then, but it takes time. Just so you know, things that we're studying in science today that we're using in clinical practice is usually 17 years behind the research. That's just the normal cycle. Whereas when it comes to technology like this, we want the latest and greatest now. So when you watch this video, I want to think about if this science is really real, and you've heard stories like Sabrina's, who do you know that is looking for a better way to heal and repair? But also, if someone you know that's looking for something that they can do part-time to earn extra income, there's a business opportunity here, and it may or may not be a fit for you, but I think, who would you love to share this with if there's an opportunity there? All right, so we're gonna play that video. Whoa, I went too fast. I do have control.
You want to get an edge on turning back the clock with just a few pills? Who doesn't? Well, it's no longer science fiction, but science possibility, a potential breakthrough. As I found out firsthand, there may be a way to erase years, at least inside my body. Granted, it's down the road, but some scientists are wondering if a new pill I took might offer a very long life. It may not look like the Mountain of Youth, but inside this nondescript building, I'm about to become part of an exciting experiment, a kind of guinea pig. Dr. McCall, okay. I'm here at the University of Colorado in Denver to meet Dr. Joe McCall, a world-renowned scientist. This is pretty exciting stuff you're finding, huh? It is. We're very excited about it. His latest research could very well unravel the mystery of aging itself. And his decades of experiments may have the potential of adding years to people's lives and possibly prevent chronic diseases like cancer, diabetes, and heart disease. It all centers around this small yellow pill, and for me, it begins with a blood test. It wouldn't be the first time I've given blood for this company. They want to check my levels of something called T-bars, which is a rough indicator of a person's actual age. T-bars can identify a condition known as oxidative stress, a kind of measure of the wear and tear on our bodies. Oxidative stress, like the rusting of an engine, is not a good thing. Bad for the body, leading to disease and leading to malfunction, and importantly, leading to what we call aging. It is a slow progression of increasing oxidative stress. That's the main characteristic biochemically of the aging process. The problem of aging begins with the very food we eat to give us energy. As our cells burn that food, they also release toxic chemicals. Those chemicals, you may know them as free radicals, react with all the components of our cells, literally bombarding them millions of times per second, damaging all our cells. The result? Oxidative stress. We all have it. The body fights back with a system of defenses. It makes two antioxidant enzymes, catalase and SOD, whose job is to gobble up the free radicals before they can harm our cells. So, Doctor, how often do I take these? And so, here I go. With that swallow, I've just become part of a potentially landmark scientific experiment. It's called Protandim, and tests on both mice and humans have already shown that it revs up the manufacture of those good enzymes in our bodies. More enzymes, fewer free radicals to harm us. Right now, all we know is that this preparation decreases oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is not a disease, just like aging is not in itself a disease, but it's something that accompanies and is attached to many disease processes. So you can see the age-related. Normally, oxidative stress, measured by those T-bars, increases with age. But in Dr. McCord's tests, taking just one pill of Protandim a day reversed that trend for everyone at every age, even for an 80-year-old. they all are reduced to the level of oxidative stress that one would expect, frankly, in a newborn or a very, very young child. High oxidative stress is associated with more than aging. It's been linked to hundreds of illnesses. It's at the very center of many diseases: liver disease, diabetes, emphysema, asthma. I've studied all of these: strokes, heart attacks, even mental disease. Yes, depression, Alzheimer's disease, depression. Dr. James Crapo with the National Jewish Medical Center in Denver is also researching Protandim for the company. But what about my progress? After nearly 2 weeks now, it's time to get my results. Dr. McCord calculates the numbers. The result? My level of oxidative stress has declined dramatically. 45%, that's excellent. Just look at where I fall on the graph, before and after. Which, if extrapolated back, is the level you would see in a newborn baby. Would you suggest I keep taking this supplement? I would. I can't guarantee it's going to extend your life. I can't guarantee it's going to eliminate any diseases or cure any diseases. But we do know that oxidative stress is part of those disease processes. I don't want to wait until I'm 80 years old to find out that I should have taken it.
All right, check that out. So that was in 2005. We're in 2018, so we're 13 years past that. So what's happened in that time frame? I'm going to share a couple things with you guys that really blew my mind, because that's opened up a new science. We used to think, well, you give somebody vitamin A or vitamin D and it does X. Well, they realized with this combination of herbs and plants, it caused a vast difference in the response that the body had. So the body has the ability to heal. We just got to learn how to activate it. So we don't want to watch that again, even though it's actually fun to watch. Okay, right, that aired back then, but here's what happened. If that aired one time, over 5 million orders came in overnight. This Dr. McCord, who is very well known in the scientific community, tons of people came to him and said, look, we want to study your product, because if your product reduces oxidative stress, we think oxidative stress related to all these different diseases, we want to see what effect that has. It was already a publicly traded company. Okay, so there's no reason we should be having this conversation here because of what the science showed. But what happened is it was way ahead of its time, right? Way ahead of its time. So when people wanted the product, $5 million orders came in, they couldn't fulfill all those orders, so most of that product wasn't fulfilled. Now that was a problem, because then they tried to sell it in a sort of GNC and other places like that. And you was a bottle of vitamin C saying it clinically proven to reduce oxidative stress, and no one knew what oxidative stress was. So if that was 2005, then 2009, the company's about to be delisted off the stock exchange because they were basically not producing cells. It wasn't that the product didn't work. All these research studies were coming in showing that it was fantastic, but they didn't have a way to get the word out anymore. They missed this giant opportunity, right? 2009, it switched distribution methods where with direct sales, they had a competition between direct sales or network marketing and retail sales. Direct sales outperformed by like 300%. So back in 2009, they went 100% into network marketing. And when that happened from 2009 to present, it went from a $10 million company to an over $200 million company, and last month had their highest month ever. So if you think about that, the timing of this company was a timing where most companies were going under, not starting up and growing like crazy in 2009, 10, 11, and 12, right? So when that happened, all the universities researched it, and here's some of the universities that have published studies that are peer reviewed, which means they're on this website, pubmed.gov. You can go look it up. 24 plus studies published on PubMed done by independent universities across the world. One of them published the American Heart Association, showing the reduced fibrosis in heart grafts. Guys, that's never happened before. A branded supplement published in that journal in circulation. Ohio State did one on heart disease. LSU did one on melanoma. That last part that Dr. McCord says is that we can't prove that it extends life. Well, we now know that we can say that. 10-year study showed that it basically improved the lifespan of mammals by an average of 7%. That's 5 human years, right, of good living, right? So we can say that because it's been shown now in a peer-reviewed published study. How cool is that, and how unique is that? It's not a better supplement. It actually activates the body's ability to heal and repair in ways that we didn't know was possible or even know how to, right? And that's a 10-year study. So think how far ahead that was. So that study just basically was released, I think, in 2016. That's because it took 10 years. So it started, right, when they did that video, but it had to wait 10 years. Only dietary supplement proven to extend life. So really, oxidative stress is this. If you age, you have it, all right? So if it's like kind of like rust, right? So depending on what body part it is what we call it. So if it's in the eyes, cataracts. If it's in the heart disease. If it's in the brain, they might call it Alzheimer's or Parkinson's. It just depends on what part of the brain or body exposed to that. So who has oxidative stress? Raise your hand and say I. Every single person on the planet has oxidative stress. The higher your stress level, so if you're in a stressful job, you have higher oxidative stress. If you're in a stressful relationship or you're just, the environmental exposure is high. I met a lady today, she's 55. She looks, guys, she looks like she's well into her 70s. She's been on steroids on and off since she was a little girl. It's rapidly aged her where she's already had cataract surgery and a hip surgery. Right? That aging process is drastically increasing. I said, look, it's the first time I saw you, but you're going to start on this. I said, even before we get anything back, which I never do that because normally I like to get the test back, but I knew that there's no way I was going to let her body age any faster than it already was, because you saw her husband, you would have sworn he was 20 years younger than her, at least. Right? Crazy. So here's what we have the ability now to do. You can take antioxidants to handle the aging process the best you can, which is what we call 1-to-1 ratio. One good guy and one bad guy, and they fight. Or you can literally turn on the switch inside your body where it heals and repairs at a rate of 1 million free radicals being cleaned up every second in every cell. Like, which one sounds more effective? Do you want the fire department putting out your fire, or do you want the Dixie cup to dump on it? Right? By far more effective to have the fire department come and show up, put that fire out. The amount of stress we're under, we need better options to do that with. And what I love about this is it's simple, okay? It's the technology is called NRF2 technology. I want you to, again, I show you this phone a couple of times because it's just like that. What we thought we were capable of 10 years ago, right, is vastly different than what my kids think is normal, right? Because of this little technology device, okay? So here's what the science said about NRF2 technology and why it's so important. So talking about the science of NRF2, so this is the switch that controls detoxification, controls your body's antioxidant production, controls your body's inflammation, and protects your body's cells. This was cytoprotection. Linked to 100 different conditions, anywhere from like IBS to AIDS to arthritis, okay? The science, Washington State said this in 2015, NRF2 may well become the most extraordinary therapeutic and most extraordinary preventative breakthrough in the history of medicine. Therapeutic and preventative breakthrough in the history of medicine. That's a giant claim and a giant statement, but that's how big a deal this is. And Protandim is the most effective and most studied all-natural NRF2 product on the market today, all right? Which already had a 10-year study behind it showing extended lifespan. That's what we get to share. So much so, this is what's so important that the drug companies are making NRF2 activators too. One of them is called BG12 or Tecfidera. It's for multiple sclerosis. This was published in the MS journal. And when they did the head-to-head study between Protandim and a couple other drugs, the summary of the study, the study was done by the drug company, Biohacking. It says, interesting, Protandim, a dietary supplement consisting of herbal ingredients with the most potent inducer and therefore may be most suited to a therapeutic strategy. Imagine the drug company having to have published that in the MS journal, right? This drug guy, the $12.5 billion drug last year, 4.5 of that profit for one disease. And we're talking about NRF2, the most extraordinary therapeutic and preventative breakthrough in the history of medicine. So if you had that ability to do that to both therapeutic and prevent things, the most extraordinary one, would you want to know how to do that? And would you want to have a drug that costs $50,000 per patient per year to take, or would you rather have an all-natural dietary supplement, NRF2 activator, that's got the studies that actually outperform the drug to take that's right at $41 a month? Like, which would you rather do? Okay. For me, I know what I want. So here's what Protandim is. That's what it looks like. The simple answer, it combats your cellular stress by activating the switch inside your body. In chiropractic, we always say we got to activate and what's called innate, the body's ability to heal and repair. It's the only supplement proven to to reduce oxidative stress by 30% 40% in 30 days, up to 70% in 3 months. 10-year study showing to extend lifespan, and it regulates your survival genes, right? Hugely important if you want to have the most effective ways of helping your body heal and repair. So here's what's fascinating to me. Who needs this? Every single person on the planet. Okay. Who might it benefit? Somebody that needs something therapeutically, and also somebody that might need it preventively. So I take it 100% because of prevention, right? That's why I take it, because I don't know anything else I can do doing one thing to allow my body to activate the survival mechanism inside itself. Now, from a therapeutic standpoint, think of Jaron, okay? And his response after 3 weeks of being on the product, where his pain is gone, been there for over 3.5 to 4 years, a kid that had to miss high school because he was in so much pain. By taking some things that her friend told her about, he's able to have his life back, right? The only thing that worries me a little bit with him is he still wants the cowboy and get chucked off of horses. So I don't know if it doesn't fix all the brain problems you got, right? But somehow he likes that, probably because he can now, right? That's what we have our hands on, we get to share. I'm gonna share one quick story. So I was exposed to this little boy with treatment with autism. I worked with him every week for a year. When he started a product called Axio, literally 11 days in, he had a 50% improvement in his behavior and learning. I had never seen that happen before. And I do a lot of things in my practice that most clinicians don't do, from detox to nutrition to emotional work. Like, I was doing everything for this family, right? And his world switched on when he started doing nurture activation for his brain with this treatment called Axio. So I actually talked to one of my friends, a client she'd been on a client of mine for over 15 years. Her daughter had autism. I said, let's try this and just to see how this might affect her. Well, it was a network marketing product. So even though she had bought thousands, really tens of thousands of dollars of supplements from me, she was nervous about giving her something from a network marketing company. And I get it, because I was that person too, right? Because I thought I could make things that were different and better than anybody else because of the ability we had. But I had never seen that type of response. So she finally started giving it to her and to her daughter. Her diagnosis is one similar to multiple sclerosis, and we're not saying we're curing, treating, and preventing. But guys, this lady now, she went from having basically 2.5 hours of good function a day, someone that lived on the couch, right, for most of her day because she didn't have the energy to take care of her family, is now living life vertically. Enough touch so she can drive at night again where she wasn't before. She was able to travel and do a bunch of meetings a few weeks ago out in Lake Havasu. Her daughter started college, which we never thought would be remotely a possibility. Graduated high school, started college just a couple weeks ago because of what the activation that's happened in her body because of this nutrigenomic based system. So there's a few other products that this company makes that's, again, the same idea. It's a technology tied to a specific niche that allowed us to activate our body's cellular processes the way we've done. I want to talk about a few of them just to highlight them. One of them relates to your mitochondria. Those are your powerhouses of your cell. When the powerhouses are on, your body can make energy. If it can't make energy, conditions like this, if you see this slide here, show up. So people are diagnosed all the time with Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, diabetes, cancer, muscular dystrophy, autism, epilepsy, if their body can't make energy. So we're not trying to be a better supplement company. All right. The reason why I do this is because there's a lot of Jarons out there, a lot of Adams, a lot of Rachelle, a lot of Heather, people that I will never get to see in my practice because they don't think about coming to a chiropractor to help them with the troubles that they have. The reality of what we have our hand on is we have the ability to now go out and very simply and effectively turn on the body's natural ability to heal and repair in ways that we couldn't before. So the body had a better chance of handling the environmental challenges that it's faced with every single day and the emotional stressors that we have. So we have the ability to do it with Nerve 2 with repairing the oxidative stress and basically the aging process. We have it with Nerve 1 for telling your body the ability to make cellular energy. There's several other products that Rachelle's going to share with you briefly about what they also do. Rachelle loves the science. Like, her and I could probably talk for a couple of days on the science just because it's so fun to us. But what I realize is that people just want to know if the products are real. Guys, they're real. Like, I can't make these and get around the patents any better than they're being made or for cheaper, right? But I also don't want to use the same model of sharing information like I used to because I have to go train physicians and then you got to train them and then they're a little harder to learn versus we just need to share with the massive amount of people because there's a lot of people like Jaron, the people that are struggling, right? And Rachelle, I love your story. Like, you came into this because you talked with Harry. You didn't really need the product. You didn't think you need anything. You work out. Like, she does everything. Works out hard. Cooks really well. Clean. Like, grows her own garden. Like, just crazy passion, all this. But she saw the science. But then even she saw some huge benefits health-wise that she didn't realize were possible, even though she was doing all the other things right. So I love your story and how that is, but also how much you've shared this with so many other people in the lives that you're changing through it, and also that you're doing on the preventative side for some of the stuff in your family. So I'm excited to hear you share your information.
Thank you, Dr. Brimhall. You're so amazing. He's a great, incredible resource. Like I said, if you guys have questions later on, get with the person that invited you, and we will definitely get all your, connect you if necessary, but get your questions answered. So my story, I didn't have one at first. And so I saw, I was approached, didn't think I needed the product because I was perfectly fine. Guys, we don't stay fine. And that's one thing that I've realized, that just the progression that happens within our bodies, within ourselves, they don't stay like that forever. They're not meant to stay that way, but we have these processes in place. Our bodies want to heal, but they don't necessarily have what they need to be able to do the job that they want to do. So I saw the science. You will look back to that slide with the NRF1 where it showed Parkinson's, guys. That word jumped off the slide for me in terms of what I saw with this, because my grandma, she passed away actually from Parkinson's this year in February. She was still alive then, of course, and this is something that I wanted really bad for her. I never got to give it to her just because I was not her caretaker. I was not in charge of her health. But I saw that more importantly as my genetic future. And so we think of our genes, and that's just going to way it's going to be, and we are predispositioned for certain things. And so I wanted this preventatively because I knew what it was going to do inside my body. I trusted the science. I didn't have a need at the time that I thought it was going to help me with. And so I will say this though, that one of the people that we are have the opportunity to work with, she's a registered dietitian. She said that our genes are like a loaded gun, and the environment, the nutritional stressors, those kind of things that interact, that's like pulling the trigger. And so I saw this for other people. That's why I really saw this for. This is a heart-to-heart type of business. I love what it's doing for people. I've been able to see so much within the last couple of years, from the very young to those who are mature and everywhere in between. Me personally, when I was on this product, I was, again, taking it preventatively. I still do. It helped me with my restless leg in a huge way. And it wasn't me that noticed that. It was actually somebody else who noticed how my legs had calmed down tremendously. And if you know what I'm talking about, it's a very claustrophobic, horrible feeling. And some other things that have happened with my health. And so I know what it's doing inside of my body. And the way that it works, be consistent, and it has a cumulative effect. So the longer you're on it, the better things are within your body. And I've been able to see that over and over again. So the next product that has been huge within my family personally, especially with my young one who suffers from asthma and allergies and a bunch of different things that afflict him. This is a probiotic. It's a patented product, which is amazing. The reason why it's patented is because it's different than the other products that are out there that, are probiotics. And so this probiotic is microencapsulated, which means it makes it through the stomach acid. About 60 to 80% of the bacteria it survives, whereas the survival rate of most probiotics is around 4%. And so that's just not very good. And so this one, and then it gets into all the gut where it needs to go. It's like a bus stop. It just moves on through where it needs to go. And so you get what you need where you need it. It also has what's called Wellmune in it, which boosts the immunity within your gut. So our gut, it's about 60 to 70% of our immunity. You want immunity. You need that health. And so I've seen great results with this within other people who have struggled with different things. Guys, if your gut is not in a good place, you are not in a good place. And this affects so many different parts of your body. It affects your joints, your adrenals, your brain, your skin, just depending on where it manifests itself. So take care of your gut. There's a lot of brain-gut connections there. So we need our body to connect and communicate with each other. So Omega Plus Newer product. Again, this company, they don't have a ton of products, but what they do have, really, it's meant to get to the root of the problem. So one thing that we need are omegas, and not just any omegas, but these are the pharmaceutical grade omega-3s and 7s. This is what we're really deficient in that makes a really big impact. We don't live in a place where we have access to that kind of fresh fish that's high in omegas. This one is sustainable as far as like the fishing is concerned, but it's also traceable from boat to bottle. And there's no fishy aftertaste, there's no fish burps. It's very clean, it's very pure, and they get it from the cold waters of Alaska and the Norwegian area. And this is great for cardiovascular, your immune system, your overall health, especially your brain. Fantastic. This product actually came from that LSU study that they did on melanoma. So their study was just to show, based on their use of protandim within their mammal models, was that it reduced melanoma skin cancer and feeder cells by up to 30 to 50%. And so they actually came back to the company and said, you guys need to make this into a topical, because if you think about our skin, it's the largest organ. We absorb so much through our skin, through the products that we use, through the sun, just environmental and in general. And so this really is NRF2 activation for your skin. It's cellular heating. It's a patented product because of what it does at the cellular level. So you can see at this young lady's face here, a lot of products work because they inflame the cell or bloat the cell. This is cellular healing. This is what it does. You're allowing that activation process to work and to allow your skin cells to heal. The Axio, fantastic product, NRF2 activation for your brain. This product, especially here locally within our school systems, this caught the attention of a lot of teachers, even a vice principal, because those teachers and especially our vice principal who saw these young kids, and she's had them ever since they were like in kindergarten all the way up through the middle school age, and some of the things that they struggled with, high anxiety, attention deficit, a lot of different lack of focus. And this product that Dr. Brimhall already told you about, that really made the difference in that little boy, Luke, who was autistic. And so really what it does is it helps connections within the brain. Again, it's all about connections within the body, from brain to mouth, brain to hand, getting it on paper, being able to speak it, information coming in. You got to be able to have a way for it to come out. For me personally, I don't struggle with any of that. And for a lot of people that don't, honestly, this is just about clarity. It's about feeling better. I want my brain to function how it needs to function. I want to feel better during the day, and this is one product that helps me do that. And this, you can just see over here on the right-hand side, that is Dr. Brimhall's nephew. And you can just see the changes. So same brain, different outcome. And so I want you to think that for those who might be struggling, because they're out there, and we've had so many families within even our small town who've been blessed by these products, because now their kids can focus. Now their kids' anxiety is under control, and they're able to function the way that they should function. Are they still that same kid? Yes, but they're the better version of themselves. They're able to have better confidence and be able to feel good about themselves and the work that they do. And you kind of think about the choices that they would have made versus what they're going to make. It's all a ripple effect. That's what this is, helping our bodies become the best that it can be. Physique system, this is a weight management system. This is all about healthy gut. So you have a protein shake, which helps targets your metabolism and your muscle mass that you need to burn that. Fat also with the help of a natural fat burn. A cleanse, which is the prebiotic, which helps prep the gut to accept that good, healthy, fabulous probiotic. So this system works synergistically together, and you can just kind of see the results of this gentleman. He was on what's called a vitality stack, and I'll show you that just in a second, and also with a physique system. Still working out, but his system, again, it's all about communication within the body and having these products work together. This is NRF2 activation for your dog. So great results out there for those who've actually given protandim to the horses and to their dogs. And so the company actually, they formulated something separately, specifically for canines. Great results, especially with a joint function and mobility. And we've been able to see big results with that. The hair care system, this is new. They have not released this yet to the public. Well, tomorrow morning, you're able to actually get this at 8 a.m. if you want it. There's a limited number of sets. So the official release date for this is December 11th. This is a fantastic problem. Again, a product. Again, it's all about solution and resolution within the body, helping it become the best it can be. This is all, it's not just shampoo, conditioner, or serum. There are plenty of those out there. This is patented system because of what it does for regrowth, for hair integrity, for scalp. So much is absorbed through the scalp, through the things that we use, and it's a very, very clean formula. And you can kind of see down there, if you want to know a little bit more about it, we can tell you, but it feels great, smells great, and there's some fabulous results that are already coming out for people with that struggle with a different variety of things. And here, you can just kind of see here, for those that have a hard time with different things, I know medications can sometimes cause a lot of hair loss. This helps counteract that. Just with men, you can see that, or how the hair feels. And over here, the scalp psoriasis is something that she struggled with for a long time. So, of course, continued use really helps with that. And it detoxes your hair as well and your scalp. So as far as systems that are in place, there's more than just this, but the company put together systems to really help us become the best that we can be, faster, quicker. So the Vitality Stack, those 4 products, NRF1, NRF2, the Omega, and the Probiotic, it hits 95% of the systems within our body. That's something that I use every single day. And then the True Science Regimen, all of these are free shipping, which is amazing, because when I first started these products, it was not free shipping. So the company has really stepped up and done that, which is awesome. But they also have the same products in the blister packet. So for people who travel or just want to hand them out to your kids, which I do, you know, that's a convenient way to be able to handle that. And so I am going to turn the time over now to Heather. She's going to briefly cover the business part. I know for some of you, this is not your cup of tea. This is not something that you're going to want to do, and that's totally fine. I would just say kind of see what it is, understand the background of the company, and just see the full presentation. Just kind of stick with us there. But Heather, she's amazing. I am so grateful that she stuck with it when I wanted to ignore her, that I was being nice to her and went over to her house, and that she was persistent with me, and that she showed me this information, because it's absolutely blessed my life in a lot of ways. I will tell you that she had to go through a hard time in her family to be able to discover what this is. And so sometimes we might be going through things just like with Sabrina, but think about, because of that, what it's been able to do to bless other people. So it's absolutely a ripple effect. She's an amazing mom of 3. They are self-employed. They understand the struggle of that. And I'll have her tell you her story and what is meaningful about this to you. So take it away. Let me turn this over to you, actually.
Okay, perfect.
Control. There you go.
Okay, I think I got it here.
And she also gave up her photography business once she saw what this is. So
there we go. Okay. So thank you, Rachelle, so much. And thank you, everybody, for jumping on this. This is something that's really important to just good knowledge to have, whether it is the health products, whether it is the business end of it. It's just really, really great knowledge to have. So just really quickly, I will give you just like a 1-minute synopsis of why I'm here. It is because we had a health crisis in our family. My oldest son, when he was 13, got really sick, and sorry, I got a little nervous here and just totally forgot someone's name that was just on here. Anyways, but with Jaron and everything that they've been through, All the doctors that they went to, we were doing the same thing. Doctors just weren't, we need doctors for different things, but they weren't able to help us. They weren't able to figure out why my son couldn't get up off the couch. And so what happened was I ended up in Dr. Brimhall's office, and between everything that he showed us and what he did in his office and the products that they just talked about, it was life-changing for us. My son spent 5 months on the couch, missed almost his whole entire 7th grade school year, because his body was shutting down, just a complete failure to thrive, and we couldn't figure out why. And so what we have our hands on is so important. It is important to get this information out to everybody. So what I'm going to talk to you guys about here is the business end of it. Dr. Brimhall actually invited me to a live presentation of what you guys are viewing right now, because I was going to take my son off and cancel our account because he was getting better. And that's what we do, is when we quit doing the things that help us get there, because I didn't understand it. And when I finally got the big picture and saw this, first of all, I knew right away that my son had to stay on the products, and I wanted my entire family to be on it. And then I saw the second part, which blew me away just as much as learning about what oxidative stress is doing to our bodies. And I'll tell you this, one thing that I have not been happy with the last few years is where we spend all of our time as a family. And quite honestly, we're not spending enough time together as a family as I want. We spend a lot of our time at work. And when I saw this, I saw for the first time that there is another way that we can make a living for our family and still be able to have a life and spend our time where we want to spend that time. And so what I'm showing you here is lifeline options, okay? What we are taught since we're in kindergarten is to go get a job, to go to school and go get a job, punch the clock, and then get your paycheck. And then you do that for 40, 50 years. If you're lucky, that's all you're doing that for, because statistically by the age of 65, you are not, 95% of people are not able to retire at that time. And that's when we're supposed to retire and then get to live. But statistics today say that 95% of people are not going to be able to do that. Okay, so with LifeVantage, what you're looking at is you've got your 20 years of growing up, and that question mark is up to you. The years there, typically somebody taking this seriously, 3 to 7 years can create quite a nice residual income, and then you get to live. And it's not about just money. You know, we all have to have money to survive. We have to pay our bills. We have to have our homes and food, all of that. It's about choices and what you get to do with your time. Do you want to spend all of your time at work, or do you want to spend your time where you choose with your family, doing the things that you want to do? So I'll tell you that after the ABC investigative report aired, you guys, they had $5 million of orders come in. All right. They were not able to fulfill those orders. They had the capability to do about $200,000 worth of orders, and that was it. So yes, we're publicly traded on the NASDAQ, and when it aired, the stock jumped to about $20, like almost overnight. And then over time, when they couldn't fulfill those orders, the stock tanked and was about 7 cents a share. And so people were frustrated, and the company almost went bankrupt. So if you're wondering like why you're learning about this from us, like I'm a photographer, stay-at-home mom, Rachelle had her own little candy business and fitness that she does. You're learning about this from us because people back then, the 6 scientists and doctors back then, were not businessmen, and they messed up. And so they ended up transferring and going into this distribution method instead of the traditional method that they intended this to be. So because of that mess up, we have the ability and the opportunity to build a massive business with a medical breakthrough that is changing the lives of hundreds of thousands of people. And so the reason why you have as big of a business opportunity is because of this diagram we're looking at right here on the screen. This is called a business S-curve. And the important part of this, super simple, is where that black dot is, okay? The black dot is where we are positioned right now as a company. So early on with the company, it was risky. They knew studies were happening, but they didn't know what the results of those studies were going to be. So right now, I mean, there's 22 peer-reviewed studies published on PubMed on Protandim, which is unheard of. So the science is there. It's completely backed by those peer-reviewed studies. We have that. We know what we have. Now it's just up to us to tell people about it. After, where the black dot is right now, we're kind of early adopters, starting to go into that momentum, and that's really where a company is branded. And that's where a lot of the growth of the company comes. We're currently a $200 million company. You guys, we're predicted to be a multi-billion-dollar company, even being compared to Apple, but in the medical industry. So what sets Apple apart is they were the first with a smartphone, okay, the first. And so that's why, and they still have like 70% of the smartphone market because they were the innovator, they were first. We are first in this science of nutrigenomics, this NRF2, this NRF1. Studies are starting to come out on NRF1 right now. Incredible. Nobody else has a NRF1 activator. There's actually recently a study that came out talking about NRF1 and its preventative effects on cancer. And so, and not making any claims, but we can state that because it's a study that has recently been published. And what can we make? This is the type of money that is possible. And because of where we're positioned as a company, every single rank that you're seeing here is available, even the Master Pro 10. This is a monthly average. We're publicly traded, so these the numbers are transparent. The company has to be transparent because of that, which is another, if you're looking at a business, it's really an important part of this because things can't just change on a whim. You can't just, somebody can't just sell the company or take your business away from you. So distributed through Pro 3, you're looking at Pro 2 money. If people, the number of houses that had gone through foreclosures back in 2008, 2009, so many of those homes could have been saved if people made $260 extra a month. That's it. So that's, is it a ton of money? No, but can it pay for your product? Yes. Can it pay for, an electric bill? Yes. The premier ranks, you're looking at part-time income. I quit my photography business almost instantly when I saw this, and I wanted to put my time and effort into something that was going to become bigger than what my photography business could be. Replace that income now with a residual check. So regardless of whether I'm here doing this, I'm still going to get paid on the 15th. But the plan is to share this with so many people that it changes and affects everybody's life who wants that change. I'm a Pro 5 with a company as well, so is Rachelle. Dr. Brimhall is a Pro 7 with a company. And then, you can kind of see so far, and then when you get there, you think, oh, can I do that? Pro 9, $42,000 a month. It's possible. It's how much work do you want? What do you want to get from the company? What do you see your life being like in 5 years? And literally with this company, you can write your future with whatever you want to put on the board because you are given the ability. There's nobody else there that's going to be able to take that away from you or demote you or shut your business down. These are the different ways that you are able to get into the business. The Platinum Pack's $1,250. You get over $1,400 worth of product. It's an $1,800 value altogether. You guys, I don't have to store anything. I don't have to ship anything. I don't have to take care of my website. It's updated whenever new information comes out. It's phenomenal. All I have to do is share the information and educate people on a medical breakthrough. The gold pack is $650, silver pack is $350. If you have questions on which pack is best for you, what makes sense for you, then get with a person who told you about, who invited you on here. We have a few different ways that we get paid, and the company is brilliant, you guys. They're absolutely brilliant. They have structured this so that the branding distributor is able to make money. So my first goal was to pay for the product I wanted for my family, and I've never had to pay for it outside of my LifeVantage business. And then as you grow, you start building your residual and income, your royalty income, and that's what is the most important. I feel like if you're looking at building something sustainable and long-term, something that's truly going to pay you month after month after month off the work you did one time. The elite pool I'm going to touch on briefly. So what the company does here is 4%, they reserve 4% of the total monthly global commissionable sales. Guys, we're open in 22 countries now. So you're talking about the global sales of that and being able to get just a tiny, tiny piece of every single bottle or every single product that goes out. So when you hit the rank of Pro 7, you get to start to share in that. And as you keep ranking, you get another share of that amazing bonus. We'll just end there. That's the very end of this. And so I just want you guys to know that this is real. What this is doing for families' health is phenomenal. I'm grateful for everybody that was on here that is open-minded to be open to something that's new out there. It takes so many years and so much time for something new medically to actually be adopted by the masses. And so what we've got our hands on here is absolutely a medical breakthrough and changing lots of lives. And if you wanted to change your life financially or time-wise, it has the ability to do that as well. So Rachelle, I will turn this back over to you. Are you there, Rachelle?
Yeah, it would let me unmute my.
We try to keep you quiet.
You know what? That's good. That's good. That's very
good to do that.
All right. Okay. Stop share here. Right. So yeah, thanks again, everybody, for hopping on. We're grateful for your time. Dr. Brimhall, did you have anything else that you wanted to say, or?
No, I was just thinking again, when I talked to Heather earlier, I am just watching how many people that really need what we have, right? Both from the product standpoint, but somebody that's actually on here and hopped on that I talked to on the way here, like she's, just things in her life that have changed, right? Some people are looking for other opportunities to find a passion that we have where we can also bring money into our household, to not only for now, but for plan for retirement. And so it's nice to do both. And you get to work with people in both those avenues where we're changing lives as we go, impacting people's health every single day. And if it's a fit, to work on that business side, which is nice. Everybody's looking for opportunities to how we can just fulfill different needs we have, both physically, emotionally, and financially. And it's nice that those all three can blend. So I'm glad everybody hopped on. Just whatever you're going to decide, do something and share the information. If you do nothing else, share the information with somebody else. If you know somebody that's looking for an opportunity, if you look at somebody that's got some health issues, let's connect with them and let's try to help them out. So that's it. That's all I got.
Awesome.
So I know we're going to kind of have a conversation about some of the Black Friday specials and stuff like that. And so for anybody that doesn't want to listen to that, we won't. The company is going to offer some different specials coming over the next few days, and we're just going to kind of recap some of that. So if you guys want to hang on a couple minutes, if you want to hop off, that really doesn't want to know about that, that's totally cool too. We want to just kind of review some of what we know about that and just how we can utilize that to help our friends.